Heya! Endo here. I'm here today to talk about TwitchCon and just my overall experience during and after. I want to do this just some days after when it's still fresh in my head and just share this experience with you because it's been an amazing one. I also recorded a lot of footage about me preparing for the convention, like making keychains, designing stuff needed for that. But I will probably make that after this video because I think at this point people are more interested in actually hearing about the actual event, and then maybe later down the line I will talk about, you know, the behind the scenes, the preparations and such. So this just makes more sense to me. So yeah, I think we can get right started because the whole convention stuff or things that relate to the convention started on Thursday. Thursday was already a pretty busy day, but a fun one. So it started off really early for me. I woke up early and obviously I had a lot of stuff for the conventions, like 600 keychains, lots of art prints, stickers, and also lots of display pieces, like a table and chairs I needed to bring. So there was a lot, and I cannot drive. I don't have a license yet. But my sister was going to pick me up, and then we would load all the things that I needed for the convention into the car, and then we would drive home to my parents' house because there were still some items that I needed to get there. And it was also closer to where I needed to go, which was Amsterdam, because you know, TwitchCon happens there. But that day I wouldn't go to the actual event yet. It wasn't open yet, but we prepared in advance. But I did go to Amsterdam right after. So that was around 12, I think, is when I started to travel to Amsterdam using public transport by train and things like that. And I was going because I was going to meet Mary and Victoria. You know, very, very amazing friends of mine that I've never met in real life before. And I'm sharing a booth with Mary, and Victoria was our official helper. So, you know, they help us with carrying stuff, setting up the booth and everything we needed and such. So I was meeting them in advance, you know, to, well, basically, we knew each other already, but yeah, meet each other for the first time in Amsterdam. And that would also be a time where we can actually, well, do some stuff, right? Because during the convention itself, it would be very busy. So that's what I did. I traveled to Amsterdam and then I went to their hotel. I think it was like 2.5 hours of travel time. And some of you might be asking, were you nervous about it? And yeah, I would say obviously I was pretty nervous about it, you know, because obviously I've never shown my face. So meeting people in person, it's always different. I knew how they looked because they're not really, you know, private about it, but they didn't know how I looked. But on the other hand, I did know them for a good while, for more than a year. And Mary even for longer, and we've been talking on a regular basis, so it's not like I didn't know them, and I know that we normally very much get along, so I wasn't that nervous, but still a little bit, which is a healthy thing, right? So I just sat down in the lobby of the hotel, and they were going down at some point to meet me there very shortly after. And so I just waited. I was expecting them to come from a certain direction because that was like the lobby area of the hotel, but I didn't notice that there were lifts on the side of where I was sitting. So yeah, all of a sudden I saw Mary, and she was like, I think she was fairly certain that, you know, the person sitting there was me, because I did tell her like I have this pin in my hair, but obviously she couldn't be 100% certain. So she looked at me and I immediately recognized her, and then that's how we met. And yeah, it wasn't awkward at all, and we just, it was super nice meeting each other for the first time. So yeah, we just, you know, hugged, met each other, and then afterwards we were like, we're going to get some lunch because we're starving, which was the same for me. So we went to a very nice place next to the water, and we got some lunch. I got a burger with some coffee. We were all very much sleep deprived, by the way. I got 3 hours in. I think the others had somewhere around the same, because they just arrived in Amsterdam as well, so they had like a long travel ahead of them. So yeah, we were all tired, but it was really amazing. So we got some lunch, and then afterwards we went to the actual city of Amsterdam, which I'm not familiar with, even though if I live in the Netherlands. But yeah, just we walked around, and initially we planned to go to like a very nerdy shop because, you know, they thought I would like that, which they're not wrong about, but it was like a Gundam shop or something, which I've never been to one before, but it was closed already when we arrived. So yeah, that was like, so that was something. But afterwards we just explored the city, we got some bubble tea, and to kind of close off the day. We went to like an Italian restaurant. It was very small, but super cozy and such. And we had some really, really good food. So yeah, overall, it was just a very, very nice day. And then afterwards, I was supposed to go home to my parents' house, right? Because all my stuff is there and it's closer to Amsterdam. But I also realized like, oh no, we forgot something, which was very important because it was like at the conventions, we built like these kind of cubes, you know, you build them yourself and you can display items on that and such and prints and such. So it was a very key thing that we needed. And I left it at home. So I traveled back to my home, but it was already way too late. I have like, there was some problems with public transport. So I arrived, well, 12:30 midnight. So it was really late and there were no trains going, you know, there were no trains to take anymore. I was too late. So basically I prepared everything there. I even made some extra prints. So I was like, I'm here anyway, so might as well. So I worked till I think 5 a.m. As stupid as I might be, I still prepared some stuff till 5 a.m. and then I got some sleep, and then I need to wake up really early again to travel to my parents' place because my sister and all my stuff was there. And then we traveled to Amsterdam together. So we had this special exhibitor parking spot that we booked online. It was basically like you go in a certain parking spot and next to the convention you can unload everything, and it should be very close by everything, and then you needed to get out. We only had like a 30-minute time slot. That was the only choice we had. So we went there. We had some troubles finding it, but we found it eventually. And then the guy that was supposed to let us in was like, you're not supposed to be here, you know? And we were like, but I booked this online and it said it was okay. He was like, yeah, but your car and such does not really meet the requirements, or so it was something like that. But he was like, I'm still gonna let you in, you know, but you know you gotta get out pretty soon. And then we were like, yeah, we know. So I went in and we parked it, and then I carried some of the stuff to the entrance of the convention, which was super cool to see because everything was being built up. And when I wanted to enter, there were some guards and they were like, yeah, no, you're not going in. And I was like, why? You have no badge, sir. So apparently I needed to get a badge first. So they gave us some directions and we needed to walk there, which was quite a distance away. So I got my badge. Basically showed like, hey, I am an exhibitor and I'm allowed to be here a day earlier than everyone else, and you know, that I'm qualified basically. So we went in and then they were like, yeah, but your sister, she does not have a badge, you know? And we were like, yes, I know. Are you telling me that I'm supposed to carry all of this stuff alone? And he was like, well, you can also get your like TwitchCon badge, right? The one that everyone gets. And then you can just give one of those to your sister and then it should be okay. So we went inside, dropped our stuff at the booth. It was also the first time that I saw the booth, which I was super happy about it. It was amazing to see. But yeah, I needed to go quickly. So after that, I immediately went to find where I could get the normal Twitch badge, and I found it. And then we both could just go in, go out, go in, go out. And we managed to get everything at the location of my artist booth in 30 minutes, like a little bit over even, but they didn't mind too much. And then my sister just left because she was busy with something else as well. So yeah, all my stuff there. And then I met Mary and Victoria again there, and they got their badge as well. And then we started setting up our booth basically. And we didn't really have a plan much. We had like a lot of components so we could build something nice. But the only thing that TwitchCon gave us at the booth was like table, not a big table, one chair and another table at the very back of the booth, which, you know, you could store things on it. At least it looked like it, and there was like a cloth underneath it so you could hide things underneath it, right? So that was very nice. So we thought about it. Then we were like, wouldn't it be nice to make like a walk-in artist booth, right? Where we have like a lot of space. The booth was like 3 by 3 meters, so it was quite big. So we were like, yeah, we can use that space, right? So we place the tables and such in a way that it's inviting and people could walk into our booth and look at all the stuff we're selling, the prints, the art, and all the other stuff we have. So yeah, we started that. And then it was 12. And I remember when I picked up the normal Twitch badge, the person also said to me, like, you have a loot card, so you can get your Twitch exclusive loot. So we were like, okay, let's just grab that quickly. So we went outside, and my God, it was busy. It was like insanely busy. There were so many people, because apparently you're able to get your, well, TwitchCon badge a day earlier, right? So there were so many people just getting their badge earlier, and also their Twitch swag bag is how they call it. So we stood in line and it looked like it was going pretty quickly, but it didn't. We stood there for for quite some time. And we were also like, I don't have too much time because I need to go to a wedding after this. And we were like, yeah, we already have our badge. We're just here to get the loot. So then we asked like a staff member, like, hey, we're exhibitors. We already have our badge. We're just here for the loot. There's no way for us to get just something quicker. Because yeah, the staff were very kind, very helpful, I must say. And yeah, they gave the loot and then we could just continue working on the booth. And around 2 p.m. I needed to go and travel home again because, like I said, I had a wedding to attend. I was a little bit sad about it at first, right? Because it's such a big moment for me as well, and a dream come true that I really wanted to actually, you know, be able to help till start from finish to actually set up the booth, right? And see where everything is placed and how it would look like. But yeah, this was also such an important moment for my friend getting married. So yeah, I went home and Mary and Victoria, they were like, no, don't worry about it. We'll get everything ready. So they were very kind about that. So I traveled home. I also, again, public transport, I had some troubles. It's not too reliable here in the Netherlands. So, but I arrived, I think, just in time for the wedding. I had like 20 minutes from the station to get back home, and I needed to walk home, dress up, you know, change my clothes, and then get to the location. So I kind of needed to run in order to be on time. But yeah, all is well. I made it. I arrived there, and there were a whole lot of people in fancy suits and things like that. And yeah, then just shortly after, yeah, my friend and his to-be wife arrived in a beautiful car, and we had like a ceremony. I will keep it short because, you know, it was a very intimate moment and I don't know, maybe a bit private, but it was really beautiful. The whole ceremony and hearing them talk about how they met and all the adventures and, you know, finally being here at this moment where they're getting married. It was absolutely beautiful. I cried. It was so beautiful. And then afterwards we went to a different location. It was in the middle of nowhere, but my God, I will show you some pictures, but it was super beautiful there. It was like, it's normally like it's full of plants and nature, and it's also kind of like a zoo. And normally you buy tickets and such, but it was just reserved for this wedding. So yeah, we took pictures. You were also allowed to just walk around. It was like walking around in a private zoo, which it was amazing. And just the whole experience there was amazing. It was so beautiful. It was such a nice wedding location. And yeah, but I also needed to go back home in time because it was in the middle of nowhere. And the only thing that I could take to get home was like a bus. And I've waited till the last bus, you know, because I wanted to be there as long as possible. But I still needed to get home. So I went home around, I think 12, maybe a little bit earlier. And yeah, I arrived home after an hour. Like, I was again really late. And then the next day, very early, I went to TwitchCon again. I wanted to be on time. We were all like, yes, everything is set up, but we still need to do the final touches. So we wanted to be there an hour early. The gates open at 10. So we wanted to be there at 9 so we can do the final touches. So yeah, I arrived on time. Mary and Victoria were a little bit later, but I tried to, you know, do the final touches. There were some prints that they didn't know which one I would like the most to, you know, place here and there. So I needed to place some art prints to have on display and things like that. Just some small final touches. And before we knew it, the gates opened already. We didn't really realize it until there were like a couple of people just passing, you know, the booth. And I felt like it was a bit early, but like, because I could see that there were also a lot of other artists that were setting up their booth still. They were still busy doing it. So it seemed like a lot of people were just a little bit late on getting it perfect, you know, but it wasn't too bad. So the gates opened and there were just a few people there, not many, because if you enter TwitchCon, I think we're basically at it's like a huge building, and you basically need to go to the end of TwitchCon, and the artist alley is located there. So I think a lot of people have a lot of other things to get distracted by until they reach the artist alley. So there were not too many people. And then Victoria and Mary were like, "Is it okay that you watch the booth for a little bit? Because we want to go to the loot. I think it's called Loot Cave. I'm not too sure anymore. But basically, it's official loot from Twitch, because there's like a very big hall with a lot of amazing merch from Twitch, and things do sell out, right? So they wanted to be there quickly and early, so that it wasn't too busy, and all these things were in stock still, right? So that was fine. And I remember just standing at the booth and people walking by. I was super nervous. I was shaking a bit, but I was like, there were so many thoughts in my head about like, what am I supposed to do? Am I just, you know, should I stand here, be inviting, smile, try to engage in conversation? It was just like, there were so many things in my head. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I just try to be welcoming, you know, and say hi to people and things like that. But for the first hour or so, there were a lot of people walking in the artist alley, but they were just walking. You know, they were not really getting close to actual booths, right? They were not talking to people. They were not buying anything. So in the beginning, it felt a bit bad. Like I was like, I think an hour just passed and you know, nothing happened. Like if this is an indication for how the convention will go, that's a pretty bad indication, right? But no. After an hour or two, things changed. And people actually, they walked in. People actually, you know, engaged in conversation with me. And it was super nice. I think in the beginning, a lot of people are like, okay, let's just take a quick look around everything, see where everything is, see if there's things we want to, you know, take a more detailed look at after a while. So I think in the beginning, a lot of people are doing that, you know, just taking a look and not really getting something yet. So yeah, it was kind of to be expected if you think about it, but I didn't at that time. But yeah, after an hour or two, things started to work out a lot more smoothly, and yeah, it was so nice. People were actually so friendly, and they were talking with us, and they, you know, they were giving compliments about our art and just the booth overall. And that alone, just the interactions was amazing. And yeah, so we finally started selling a little bit, not like a lot, but yeah, people talked with us and people bought, and sometimes they just looked or grabbed our business cards, but we just overall had like such a nice time. And then all of a sudden, there's this friend of mine, Cranky, that just I think he was just trying to act like a normal person, right? To not be like, whoa, Endo, I know you, because, you know, to fool me, I guess. But I instantly recognized him, and I was like, oh my god, that's Cranky. And the others as well, like Flidiot and everything, like people I've met online but never in real life. They visited my booth specifically. And it was so nice meeting him for the first time. And yeah, it was super nice. They showed me the loot they got already, right? They also went to the Twitch exclusive merch and other things and pictures together. And they also bought stuff from me. So it was just it was really a blessing. It was really a blessing, and I was so happy to meet them finally. So yeah, we spent some good time there actually. But then afterwards they would obviously continue exploring the convention, but they would come back later. But that was super nice. And yeah, then the day just continued and sold a little bit here and there, and then, like, you know, something like pretty crazy happened. I feel like there was like someone that just walked past the booth, and then they were suddenly like, oh my god, you're Antonos. And I was like, wait, you recognize me? And she was like, yes, I follow you and I love your art. I didn't know you were here actually, so I'm so surprised. So it was so surreal to have someone actually, you know, recognize my art and see the person behind the art as well, right? Somehow I did not expect that, right? So I was so surprised by that, and, you know, made me really happy. So oh, it was amazing to have like a moment like that. So we talked because, you know, we both love art, and we exchanged our socials, and she was surprised that I already followed her. And she was like, wait, we're mutuals, what? So it was just super nice. It was amazing. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So it was kind of like a surreal moment. And there were so many amazing cosplayers as well, and just the whole crowd was just so diverse. So many different kind of people and dressed in so many different ways, whether it's cosplay or just being themselves, you know. Just seeing that was just really, really inspiring to me, and yeah, I feel like I could learn from that. But yeah, then the day just continued, everything was going well, and then at some point there was someone that came back, and they were like, you know, do you mind signing my TwitchCon badge? And I was so caught off guard by it. I was so surprised that someone wanted me to sign something from them, and Mary as well. Yeah, it was just super nice. So yeah, that was also like a special moment. So we took a picture together, and we obviously signed it for them. So there were just so many like first time things happening there, things that I didn't think about and just happened. That was so nice. I really enjoyed it. And like something else that I'm just talking about things that made like an impact on me, you know, like things that I remember so clearly. But I remember like a group that previously bought like a sticker pack from me coming back, and then them using all of my like Twitch emotes that I made into a sticker pack, and then they all had that on their like TwitchCon badge. And it was so surreal seeing that, like, whoa, people are actually willing to use my stickers and put it there like full on display. I felt so honored that someone would do that. And then they brought like a friend again that hasn't visited the booth yet, and oh, it was just amazing. amazing. But that friend was a huge Final Fantasy XIV fan, which obviously I am too. And then they showed me their collection. They had almost everything, which was so amazing to see their whole collection. So so after we talked a little bit, they were like, yes, so I want to get like an art print, everything related to Final Fantasy XIV. And I was like, you mean everything? Like, you know that I'm mostly like a Final Fantasy XIV artist, right? So most of my art pieces will be related to the game. It's like, yeah, everything. So that was so surreal. I'm like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And then I asked like, do you want like the biggest size or the smaller ones? And he was like, the bigger the better, like the biggest size if possible. So that was such a crazy moment. So we went through the prints one by one. Obviously I needed to find them and pick them. And we had like a portfolio as well. So he looked through my portfolio. And I obviously told him like, yeah, that's Final Fantasy related. And there were even some art pieces that I made. And I was like, oh yeah, that one isn't Final Fantasy XIV related, you know? And he was like, I don't mind. It's still Cat Girl or something. I'll take it too. And then like, oh, that's your own OC? I'll take that too. So that was so insane to me, but it was so nice. So I sold so many prints to that one person and kind of shocked me, like that someone was willing to like spend so much on art prints and things that I made. It was like, it's super weird, but yeah. So it was super nice, and I signed them all as well, and I packaged them in like a protective layer, and also in cardboard, so it wouldn't get damaged and it's easily carried around, you know. So yeah, that was such a surreal moment, and because they also had like such an insane purchase from me, I also gave them some free stuff, you know, to just thank them for the support. I was like, you know, you're helping me out so much, you're supporting me so much, then you know you can get some free stuff with that as well, because I'm just really thankful. So that was just a really big highlight, and I still can't believe that happened, but really was surreal. And during the convention, I also met so many, you know, Final Fantasy XIV fans, which is to be expected, right? Like Final Fantasy XIV is kind of everywhere in my art, so if someone notices it or recognizes a character like Yestola or something, yeah, big chances are that they play the game. So it was just amazing talking to Final Fantasy fans as well, and talking about the game, their experiences, the jobs they made, and taking pictures together. And some people were even wearing like Final Fantasy shirts, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I think those are the shirts you get from challenges, right? At other conventions as well, or fan fest, where you need to beat a trial, and they were like, yeah, you need to do that. Was it too difficult though? And we just had so many amazing talks, and I really treasured them today, I would say. Like, even though it started out really slow, it's been one of the best days of my life, I would say. But also very exhausting, because it started, we were there at 9 and everything closed at 8. And we were there the whole day, standing, talking, engaging with people. So you can imagine it was pretty exhausting, you know, but the good kind of exhaust. And then after 8, when everything closed, obviously we still wanted to, you know, make sure that everything is in a safe place. We were allowed to let everything be there, you know. There were no, like, only people with special permission were able to enter the building like us. So they told us it was pretty safe. There's people walking around, keeping guard and things like that. So that was nice. And afterwards we just explored the city. Well, not really, actually. No, we didn't. That was the day before. But we went out for dinner at a Japanese place, and then it was super nice. We had some drinks. We ate some amazing food, and then afterwards we went to an arcade. Well, it was next to the restaurant, so we didn't need to walk a lot. It was like super convenient. So we went to the restaurant, and this time it wasn't just me, Mary, and Victoria. There were also a lot of other people that were there, like my friend, well, and some other people they have met online. So I think we were there with a group of 7 people, which was really cozy and nice, and we just had a really good time. We went to the arcade, played some games, and laughed a lot. It was super loud there, so you kind of needed to scream, but it was super nice. And we stayed at the arcade right until it closed, which was midnight. So at midnight, everyone went their own way, you know, going home or going to their hotel. I am super lucky that I have like a family member living in Amsterdam, and actually 4 minutes away from TwitchCon, and they heard that I had like an event like that. So they were like, you know, if you want to sleep a day at my place, you know, you're more than welcome to. We're not home that day because they had a wedding too, but they gave me the key so I could sleep there one day, which was super convenient, because like, as you might have seen, I had almost no sleep the days before. Like, I had 3 hours of sleep. I was very much sleep deprived for a couple of days. So it was nice to have something, you know, nearby so that I could finally get some good sleep, you know. So yeah, that was nice. I took a shower, just got some wonderful rest, and I woke up early as well, I think 8, because I wanted to get some candy and some specialties from the Netherlands and give it to Mary and Victoria, because they did that to me as well. I prepared something before that as well, but I wanted to get some more, so I went to like a store and bought like a bunch of like very typical Dutch things, you know, that I really enjoy, and I think they would too. So I gave them both like a bag of candy and cookies from the Netherlands for them to enjoy later after the convention. And yeah, then day 2 started, and the thing that I immediately noticed was it was a lot less busy that day. I was still busy, but like not as busy as Saturday. Saturday was just packed. But it did seem like more people were willing to actually engage with you, talk with you, and buy stuff, you know. Like even if it was less busy, people seemed to be more willing to, you know, get stuff there, which was super nice. So that day went really well. I again had wonderful talks with people and made connection. And also because it was less busy, there were moments where I was actually able to to walk around a little bit and see what's around. So yeah, I went through all the artist booths as well, and I talked to some artists there as well, and it was just super nice talking to them and also getting some merch from them. You know, because I wanted that as well, and getting art prints and making sure that it's signed, because obviously that's very important to me. It was just really nice, and it made me realize how special it was for me to be, you know, be amongst them, you know, because there were some amazing artists around, and it was very diverse as well, you know. So that was truly amazing. There were some artists that also made some Final Fantasy XIV related stuff, so obviously I got some stuff, but just overall was just really amazing. And I even did an art trade with someone, and because I went to their booth and I was like, oh, that's so nice, like I want to get this art book you have, like with sketches and such. I just asked, you know, like how much would that be? And they were like, well, we can trade, you know, we like. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, if you wanna trade, that's fine. But she was alone at the moment, so she was like, I can't really leave, but I know that your booth is right there, right? And your friends are there as well. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, I can watch your booth for a little bit if you'd like. And she was like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, I'll be right back. So she went to my booth, and I kept guard of her booth. And then she went back and she picked out a print that she wanted, and basically we traded, which was also amazing. Yeah. What else can I say? Apparently there was like a very big gathering of VTubers as well there. I'm not too much into the VTuber scene, so I do not know all of them, but there were some that I do recognize, like Yoshi, like this Oni VTuber that also makes amazing art. And so yeah, I also got the opportunity to make a picture with them. Obviously they don't want their identity to show, so they asked me kindly to put like a smiley or something in front of them, which works perfectly because, you know, normally I don't show my face either. So now we both have something for, but it was really kind and nice meeting them. Obviously they had like a lot of people that wanted to meet them, so it wasn't like a very extended talk or something, but it was still nice to meet them. There were also some very big streamers like Pokey walking around, and she even crossed the artist alley, but like there was like a big audience following her, right? Obviously, so I feel like there was no way to get close, or, you know, because I don't have a lot of time. I have like a stand, I can't, you know, be away for too long. But yeah, like day 2 was really nice as well, and the day was a little bit shorter as well, because normally on Saturday TwitchCon ended at 8, and on Sunday it ended at 6, so it's a little bit shorter. So yeah, time flew by. Again, made amazing memories and made pictures with people and cosplayers as well. And yeah, I had a blast. It was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, at 6 everyone left. And then all of a sudden we needed to be really quick with breaking down our booth basically, and packing everything and getting everything back into the car, because we had like a reservation at a restaurant to close this whole experience of TwitchCon, you know, so we needed to be quick. So I believe it took us like around 8 hours or so to build up the booth, and now it was like we broke down the booth in like an hour. So we rushed and we were so fast, and it was super stressful, but we did it in an hour. And my sister was picking me up with her boyfriend to, you know, get all the stuff into the car and drive home. But yeah, only people with a badge were able to enter the building at that point. So just me, Mary, and Victoria that could actually, you know, pack the stuff and bring it outside. And outside we could give it to other people and they would bring it to the car. So yeah, we did that in an hour. Then my sister and her boyfriend went home. home, and I obviously went to the restaurant to meet all the others using public transport. And yeah, we arrived at like this beautiful sea palace, it's called. It's like a restaurant on the water, Chinese restaurant. And they even had like robots bringing the food. Well, not bringing the food like how you might think, but it was like bringing the food to the location, and then there would still be a waiter that would pick it from the robot and then bring it to your table. You know, there's like this connection in between. But it was still super cool to see, and the robots had like these expressions and like smileys they had. It was so cute to see, and yeah, it was the first time that I saw that. But the food as well was amazing. I didn't take too many pictures again, but I'll show you some. And yeah, we just had a wonderful time. This time with 6 people. So yeah, we just had some drinks and ate wonderfully. And then we went to the station to, yeah, say our goodbyes, basically, which is never easy because, you know, we had such a wonderful time and it was the first time we've met and we made some amazing memories. So yeah, it was difficult. I stayed for quite a while at the entrance of the station to just talk with everyone and sign our badges and yeah, just talk and have a good time until we finally did say goodbye, which was a bit emotional, but yeah, that just means it was a wonderful experience, right? So yeah, I went home to my parents' place because my sister bought all of the stuff there with like a small car, with the big car, I mean. And then she was like, yeah, I think it's better for you to go to a parents' place because obviously we were rushed. So everything was not really sorted or, you know, ideally stacked on top of each other, right? Because the next day we wanted to bring everything to where I live, but the parking space is super small there. So she doesn't want to go with the big car. So I needed to sort everything and make sure it's optimized, and then we can put it into the smaller car. And then next day I went back to, well, my home with all of this stuff. And then she left again. I'm super thankful that she helped me out with this because I can't drive and I cannot carry all of this stuff with public transport. So I arrived home. It was a mess with so many stuff that I had prepared for the convention and all the stuff I did before that as well. It kind of kicked in at that moment how like exhausted I was as well, because these were some super busy days in the best kind of way, obviously, but the exhaustion didn't really kick in until then. I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired. I need some proper sleep and stuff. So I tried to take it a little bit easy. I tried to sort everything out and clean up things like that. But overall, I was just trying to rest up a little bit. And then the next day, kind of the same, cleaning everything, sorting everything. And yeah, that was kind of my experience. And the day after, I'm here recording it and sharing my experience with all of you. I also want to thank my friend that specifically went to TwitchCon. They were not officially like a helper. You're only allowed to have one helper, but this friend of mine basically went to TwitchCon just for me, to just be there for me and help me out, because they knew that it was like such a big moment for me. It's something that I dreamed about for, yeah, such a long time. So yeah, they went there to help me. So it was also really nice of them. And they even got me some merch from the official Twitch merch. Again, like I didn't have a lot of time to be away from my booth, so they got me some stuff as a gift. So that was super nice as well. I'll show that as well here. Like I got 2 hoodies and like a badge. So yeah, overall, I'd say this was such an amazing experience, and I would do it all over again if I could. But yeah, it was truly a dream come true, and the best thing about it has been just meeting people and talking to them. That alone was more than worth it. I feel like I did not expect that. So yeah, it's been a wonderful experience, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. Sorry if this is a bit of a lengthy video. I'm trying to go through all of my memories and things that, you know, left an impression on me and all the nice stuff. So yeah, it's a bit lengthy, but it's been amazing. And some people might wonder like, whoa, did you make a lot of money? Fortunately, not really. I can already tell you that obviously I invested a lot into this convention, right? From keychains, I ordered around 500 keychains. I print all the art prints myself at home using like an inkjet printer. So I need to, you know, buy some really expensive paper in different sizes, and also, you know, obviously pay for the inks and also stickers and everything, like to display all of the things at the convention and public transport. So it was super expensive preparing for it, and I can tell you that I did not get that back. Did not, you know, earn more that I spent in preparation for it. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but even if that is the case, it was still a experience of a lifetime, and I would say it was so worth it. And obviously it was a bit more expensive as well because it was my first convention, so I needed to get a lot of stuff, you know, in preparation for that. But if I had like another convention, a lot of the stuff that I got now I can reuse. And I also have a lot of things left, right? Like keychains and art prints, and I can still sell them afterwards in my online store, for example, or for future conventions, because I definitely want to do that. So it's not like you should see it like a complete loss now. But if you look at what I spent for the convention and what I earned at the convention, no, I did not, you know, I did not make that back. I lost money on that part, basically. Even if it felt like I sold quite a lot though. But yeah, the investment was also very expensive. But again, these were some of the best days of my life, and I will treasure it deeply and look back at it fondly. So well worth it. And I hope to do it again in the future. So yeah, that's kind of my whole experience. I'm sure that I've forgotten a lot of other stuff as well. But yeah, it's like it was so busy during the convention, and like afterwards when you're alone, then like the realization can kick in, you know, like all the people you've met and the amazing memories you made. And yeah, that's honestly amazing. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And I also want to thank you all so much for supporting me, because I know that I've been pushing out a little bit less art because of all the preparations that needed to be done for the convention. So to see people still supporting me and being happy for me for following my dream and making it come true, one of those, truly means a lot. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed my little talk about my experience, even if it was a little bit lengthy. Have a lovely day, y'all, and again, thank you so much for the support. Bye bye!